Are you in the market to buy a home in the western suburbs and looking for a deal? In this video, we'll look at where you will and won't find one. I'm Eric with Andersen Homes, and we're counting down the top 10 western suburbs from least to most competitive. We'll look at who has the highest market time, the lowest inventory, who's cutting prices, and which areas are getting the highest percent over asking price. Coming in at number 10 is Lamont. Median market time is 20 days and inventory is at a whopping 2.8 month supply. For reference, 6 month supply is considered a balanced market, with anything below 5 months favoring the seller. So a 2.8 month supply isn't exactly a buyer's market, but it is the market that has the highest supply of listings in the western suburbs. Price changes aren't happening often, with only 2 over the past week. Lamont isn't seeing as many competitive listings as some of the other western suburbs, but the ones that did get multiple offers went for an average of 5.69% over asking price, and the home on Bluff Road went for a whopping 20% over asking price. Burridge's homes currently have a median market time of 20 days, just like Lamont. However, they have a slightly lower supply at 2.6 months, and there has only been one price change in the past week. Looking at 20 of Burridge's recent competitive new listings, they went for an average of 5.28% over asking price, with some going as low as 0.5% over on the low end, and one home going more than 22% over asking price on the high end. Oakbrook is a sneakily deceptive market when it comes to competition. On the one hand, they have a 2.6 month supply of homes, which is considerable in this market, with a median market time of 17 days. They've had 4 price changes over the past week, which is the second greatest number we'll see in this video. One was for a very small townhome, and the other 3 had an average price point of $1.5 million. But what makes Oakbrook sneakily competitive is how much their competitive listings have sold over asking. Oakbrook doesn't get competitive often, but when it does, watch out. The average percent over asking price is by far the highest of any of the western suburbs at plus 13.6%. Most markets are in the 5 to 6% over asking price range. Not only did Oakbrook more than double that, they also have the home that went for an insane 42% over asking price. That distinction goes to 3 Shelburne, which sold for $2 million despite only asking 1.3. Median market time in Hensdale is 18 days, so 1 day higher than Oakbrook, but they have less inventory at 2.3 months supply, and they've only seen 1 price reduction over the past week. Hinsdale's competitive listings have been getting your typical 6% above asking price, with 207 Ravine getting an amazing 15% over asking price. Ravine sold for $1.15 million, and they were asking just shy of $1 million. That came to about $150,000 over asking price. Our 6th most competitive western suburb market is Downers Grove, with a median market time of only 8 days and a 1.4 month supply. And yet Downers saw the second highest number of price reductions on their listings of any of these markets at 7. 3 of those were very small homes or condos, 1 was a teardown, and 3 were straight up overpriced. Still, many homes in Downers went to multiple offers. The good news is that they aren't going for 13% over asking like in Oakbrook, but are going for a more modest 5.43% over asking on average. Still, competition can get fierce, as it did at 710 Prairie Avenue, which sold for $100,000 over asking price. They had an asking price of $800,000 and it sold for $9 million. Naperville falls right in the middle of the pack, with their homes selling in a median of 8 days. Inventory is currently at a 1.2 month supply, and they had the most price reductions of our western suburbs over the past week at 10. As high as that sounds, Naperville is a very large market, so for a market that's several times bigger than the others, you'd expect to find a higher number of price reductions there. All 10 of those were badly overpriced. But if being a large market caused Naperville to see a higher number of price reductions, they also saw a higher number of homes get multiple offers. Some went for a significant premium, and others went for a more modest increase. On average, Naperville's competitive listings are getting north of $42,000, or almost 6% over asking price. Some only got a few thousand over, and 9 South 341 Skyline got more than $220,000 over asking price, which was nearly 20%. In Willowbrook, median market time is 9 days. Inventory is sitting at a 1.1 month supply, and 3 homes cut their price over the past week. Willowbrook is another market that doesn't get overwhelmed with competitive listings, but when they get one, watch out. The average percent over asking in Willowbrook is 8.36%. That's third highest on our list, and a home on 67th Street went upward of 20% over asking price. Median market time in Westmont is only 8 days. They currently have a 1.1 month supply of inventory, and 3 homes reduced their price over the past week. Westmont's competitive listings are currently coming in at 6.74% over asking price, and a home on Revere commanded a massive 23% over asking price, which came to about $81,000. The moral of the story? When it comes to competitive new listings, asking price is often more like opening bid. Our second most competitive market in the western suburbs is Darien. They're sitting at a 0.8 month supply, have a median market time of only 8 days, and only 1 home reduced their price in the past week. In Darien, you can expect to pay a similar premium for a competitive new listing as you would in Westmont, about 6.62% over asking price on average. They didn't have anything go 23% over asking like in Westmont, but 6709 Trenton in Darien managed a respectable 12% over asking price, or $60,000. Of all the markets in the western suburbs, Lyall has the lowest median market time of 7 days. They have a 0.9 month supply and only 1 price reduction over the past week. With Lyall being the most competitive of the western suburbs, you'd expect their homes to get the highest amount over asking price. And while they didn't top Oakbrook's 13.6% over asking price, they came in second place at 9.2% over asking price on average for competitive new listings. Like many of these other markets, they had 1 home go just north of 20% over asking. In Lyall, that was 904 Wood Court, which sold for nearly $100,000 over asking price. Markets aren't rational, and just because buyers acted a certain way in the past doesn't mean they'll do the same in the future. Still, when you're in a competitive market, it's helpful to see what other buyers have been doing, and certain definite patterns have emerged. 6 of the 10 markets we looked at saw their competitive listings sell in that 5 to 6% over asking range. Most markets saw 1 home that went about 20% over asking price, and in general, we're seeing low market time and few price changes. That's what you would expect in a market like this where inventory is very low. For help with buying or selling a home in the western suburbs, reach out anytime. I'm Eric with Andersen Homes, a family-owned brokerage where we treat our clients like family.